Hello, listeners, and welcome to another episode of Subscription Scaled. I'm your host, Nick Frederick. With me today is Rachel Duguay and Michael Sturba, who are the co-founders of Micropuzzles. Rachel, Michael, welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you for having us.
Thanks, Nick.
Yeah, excited to learn more here. We were talking a second ago, saw you guys at Subta and saw your presentation. So definitely excited to learn a little bit more today and dive in. But why don't we take a big step back for a second and tell us what led you guys to start a subscription micropuzzles company?
So we had been doing puzzles from 2018, and we were both furloughed for the pandemic, and then puzzles just took off and went crazy. And as we were starting, because I think that was like April of 2020, one day I was, we were just laying in bed, and I go, I wonder what it would look like for a subscription box. Like I've never bought a subscription box. I don't even know what goes in a subscription box, but Michael's like, I don't know, what would that look like? And we just sat and talked about like, the good part about subscription is that you have kind of a consistent recurring revenue. So we have, we have our online sales that already taken off. We were doing really well on there, selling thousands and thousands of puzzles. And, we do custom, we do business to business, we do a bunch of other things, but we thought, well, subscriptions will just be consistent and we can put out new products because
we also, just to the other thing too, is like we started this as a side gig out of our apartment, and it really blew up over the pandemic. But during the pandemic, we were getting customers that were emailing us and saying, hey, when's the new designs coming out? When is the new stuff coming out? We want to see new art. And that's one of the genesis of it too. Rachel was literally like, what if we did new art every month under a subscription model? And that was kind of the catalyst of it. But Rachel always has crazy ideas, and it's just like, we always joke that, not joke, but she's the CEO and creative force of the company. And anytime she pulls me aside and goes, hey, Mike, I'm thinking about, I'm always like, brace yourself, because, like it's coming, this big idea is coming. And subscription is absolutely one of them. It transformed our company. It was, we have multiple sales channel, but subscription by far is probably our favorite one.
Yeah.
So
I think that's what most noted for from like our customers. The people that have been doing it have been maybe with us for over 2 years. They've got a subscription, so and we hear the nicest letters from them. And we just we have a dog. We call him Brian in Shipping. His name is actually Presto. But if we have a problem with any of our orders, we blame it on Brian in Shipping. Oh. And then he sends them a cute little card and says, with a picture of him in like a USPS box. And it says, oh, Brian in Shipping is super sorry you messed up your order. And it's like he doesn't take his unpaid internship very seriously. So it diffuses people. It probably was the best decision we made.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
During the pandemic. But we have a customer that's been getting our subscription that just sent him 15 pounds of milk bones as a thank you for the subscription, because he gets the most credit and does the least amount of work.
It's always good to have somebody to blame, right?
Oh, it's honestly, it's one of the greatest strategies. It also at our core, we're a toy company, so we have a lot of latitude compared to if we were a medical company, we'd be, we wouldn't maybe make the dog part of shipping. But it is super fun. I mean, like literally FedEx walks in with a box and goes, is Brian shipping here? We were like, wait, what?
Did he order things?
Yeah. So, but yeah, it helps.
Cool. Yeah. So you guys were about 2 years into a transactional revenue model when you introduced subscription, and then you've been doing that for about 2 years.
Right.
Is that about right? Okay.
Well, it was really slow at first because we used to call our online sales onesie twosies because we would only sell 1 or 2 a week. Okay. That's what we had. And we both had full-time jobs. And so it was kind of just like something, let's make puzzles. And, we would glue them in our kitchen. It was like, we figured out a way.
Yeah. Thank God. Prior to the pandemic, we had just figured out a way of scaling the production of the puzzles. And we happened to have tons of inventory and stuff we ordered early. And so we had all this stuff, and we were just sitting in a really good position when the pandemic hit. And then KTLA, which is, I think, the NBC affiliate in Los Angeles, put us on their morning show. We sent them puzzles. We did product seeding. So we just basically gave them puzzles and we're like, hey, we really appreciate your coverage in the pandemic. And this is a way to grow your subscription. We really appreciate your coverage in the pandemic. It's a great mix of like information and entertainment. And we make puzzles in our kitchen and we really love what you're doing. Thanks so much. And it was a really scary time. I mean, people were wiping down their groceries and all that stuff. And like literally 2 days later, they called us and we're like, tell me a little bit about your company. And then they eventually put us on the air and that blew our website out. And that's when we were like, holy cow, this is going to be big. And then from there, we grew the subscription. We had a base of customers. And when we introduced the subscription, and we were literally we just launched. We didn't we didn't research it.
I have a saying that I always say, done is better than perfect, because Michael will work at it. Well, let's just get it. Nope, let's send it.
Yeah, you can finesse something to death. And we probably should have finessed it a little more than we did, but for the subscription, we literally just launched. We had a Shopify website. We're like, we can just track people on Shopify. We didn't have any infrastructure, nothing set up. We really didn't know what we were getting into. And I mean, like there were, Rachel cried for 3 months, I think, the first 3 months, because it was just, it gets a lot.
It was overwhelming, because we had hit probably the first month we hit 100 subscribers, and, not even, where are we buying our boxes? And then, if anybody else has a subscription box, tissue paper is not your friend. It's always folding and it seems to take forever. But
the thing is, you learn as you go, kind of thing. So we really did. We launched with not a whole lot of thought. We just knew, well, we were going to figure it out, kind of thing. We'll get better. We always do something 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, and we would rather launch and get customer feedback and tweak it and make it better than to research it to death. And because sometimes ideas have a shelf life, and you have to be careful that you don't kind of go past that. And it's much better just to launch and do it, because we could have spent 2 years researching a puzzle subscription.
Yeah, and our background working, we were working at Disney at the time when the pandemic hit, and Disney launches things at like
70%.
70%.
Yeah.
Before it's really ready, like hopefully it's not on the roller coasters or something.
Yeah.
But,
I'm kidding.
But they do that. They don't wait until 100%. A lot of times they will launch at 70 and just know that they can throw the resources, the people behind it to fix it. Kind of thing. That's sort of we kind of adopted that. So
right. I mean, that's definitely been a theme of those that I've interviewed here, is that, you don't have to be perfect. You should learn from each iteration, take that back, make improvements the next time around. But that's one of the beautiful things about subscription, right? Is knowing you have that predictable recurring revenue out there. So you kind of have this baseline to start from, and then you can keep incrementally improving on top of that, right?
Absolutely. And we find too, like the subscription customers are like super fans, like those are the people that, and we do things like we will introduce new products through the subscription box, and things like that. And that has actually been really well, because then before we release it to the public, we can tweak it, or we can get feedback from like the super fans kind of thing, which work out really well. So.
Well, I think one of probably the advantages of your product in particular, compared to maybe some other box clubs, are the size of the product itself, right? That's pretty efficient to ship, I would think.
Yeah. And I think for us as well, I mean, we love doing our subscription box, but it's 1.3 ounces. It's 6" by 1 inch. So I feel like we could be in any subscription box. And I think at the first summit, I was like challenging people to be like, what do you have for a subscription box? We should be in your subscription box. And we've been in we have the guinea pig box. We've been in a divorced woman's box. We've been in s'mores. We've been in a yarn box. We have been in all other subscription box. Well, not all of them. We think we can be in all of them, but and it's we just got one the other day. Like it's goat milk soap box, like, because whatever you put on a puzzle, if you like steam trains, we can put steam trains. It's the same product. It's just what is the image that goes on it that makes the puzzle. So
and that was one of the concepts we learned at Disney, and I have a pretty big printing background as well, and so it's basically the same iteration of the product. The product is always the same. It's basically a 6" test tube with 150 piece 4x6 puzzle in it. But by changing the image, you can basically, if you put the art on, Disney is famous for this, Disney can put art on anything. stapler, a pen, like, you know, any kind of tchotchke that you can think of, if they put the right artwork on it, it will sell out amazingly. And so we kind of learned that through them. And we have an on-demand strategy. So we actually, we print our own, we manufacture our own puzzles, everything. So we never have a warehouse full of cat puzzles when everybody wants dogs, you know, and vice versa. And that has been super helpful as well.
Has it always been that way, that you were print on demand, or were you ever inventorying these items?
No, we've been always print on demand.
And we used to do it the old fashioned way. Like we would offset stuff, we would glue it in our kitchen. We literally had a die cut press in my apartment, kind of thing, that we would get, like the poor neighbor. But yeah, so we literally, that's how we did it. And then I was working at the Walt Disney Company in one of the merchandise departments, and Rachel was like, hey, we're getting busier and busier, and we could not scale it doing it the way we did it. And so she sat me down and was like, hey, we really need to find a better way of doing it. And so we came up with a better way of doing the puzzle so that we can scale. And that was one of the big aha moments for us.
Because going from, you know, at the beginning, well, we scaled a little bit and we could make 4 puzzles at a time. So when we hit the KTLA days and we had like a $16,000 day, we're printing 4 puzzles at a time. And you know, so Michael would sleep, he'd wake up, and then I would sleep. Like we were just getting the orders out. I've been over 600 orders behind, like, and you know, like, how are we going to get through it? But we did. I mean, you know, it was very important to us that, you know, our customers weren't waiting forever, because we're trying to build a brand. We're not just selling products.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we want, you know, early on, I had asked Michael, like, out of this, what do you want? Do you want to make money? You want to, you know, quit your job? What do you want? And he goes, I want to get on a plane. And someone said, what do you do? And he's like, I own micro puzzles. And they go, I've heard of that. That is what Michael wants out of the business. And I love that too. So we're very big on customer service.
And we knew we would fix it too. Like, that's another thing, even with the subscription box, you may start really small. When you scale though, economy of scale saves a lot. Like, volume solves a lot of problems, kind of thing. And that's kind of how we did it even with the puzzles. We used to hand break up the puzzles, which takes about 90 seconds a puzzle to break up. Okay, so we have to do 1,000 of them. I mean, it's an insane math equation, right?
You need gloves.
Right, honestly. I mean, kind of like, you can talk yourself out of stuff, you know, like you can be like, oh my God, we'll never, 90 seconds, 1,000 puzzles, we'll never do this. It won't never be profitable. But we always knew that, listen, if we can build the volume to a point where we can actually get to a point where we built a machine to break them up for us. And now we have a machine that we actually hired a company to build for us that breaks them up in 5 seconds. And it does it perfectly every time. But the thing is, you have to go through that 90-second 1,000 puzzle hand break up segment until, to get to that other part. And so, like, sometimes if the subscription box, really, it's kind of just almost like a proof of concept sort of thing. You may start off small and be like, oh, the profit on the box isn't that much, kind of thing. But know that when you get to like a couple hundred, 1,000, 5,000 subscribers, all of a sudden the economy of scale, it'll be profitable. There's other things you can do, sort of thing. Because you can literally talk yourself out of anything, kind of thing, with just based on the numbers, kind of thing. So,
well, through this growth, and you talked about how you were doing it out of your apartment, and then COVID happened, and there was this hockey stick of growth. Right. Have you guys bootstrapped the entire way? Have you taken outside investment?
Yeah, we've never taken any money out. I think for us doing the pitch competition, that would have been the first time that we would have gotten funding. Yeah. So we've done it all ourselves, and I mean, even like for us, we paid for our equipment. So like,
we don't even lease anything.
Yeah.
Like, literally we've.
So everything is on, and actually there was a big piece of machinery, and there's a lot of places closing down. So our print shop was closing. Well, not print shop.
COVID.
Yeah. And Michael saw it online and he's like, oh, they say make an offer. And I'm like, all right, well, we have $25,000 in the bank. I'm going to offer them $25,000. He's like, there is no way they're going to take $25,000. And I'm like, well, that's what I have. And that's what we're going to offer. So I talked to the woman and she's like, well, let me talk to my manager.
And then, so I was like, let me talk to your manager. Like, there's no way this is happening. And then she called back to Rachel and said, well, when can you guys come in? And I was like, when can we come in? Like, this is not happening. And it turns out, actually, a lot of things come to you when you just ask. And so we had gone to this company where, you know, we had 25,000 cash, and they literally said to us, we would rather sell it to you, because they were closing. They were in business for 30 years. They had a 25,000 square foot facility, and their sales went to zero. They were in a market that was really reliant on like close contact with people. And when COVID happened, it was done. They were over. And the owner of the company literally said, we would rather sell the press to you than sell it to someone who's going to flip it or abandon it here. And so we were like, wow.
Yeah.
And that was one of the,
We were
and
just basically, this is going to change our business. And it did. So now we can make 140 puzzles at a time rather than 4.
Yeah.
So that makes a big difference.
Yeah.
That makes a big difference, because we've gotten, you know, big orders from like Google. We've done 2 orders of 20,000 for Google. So 40,000 puzzles. So we would not have been able to do that at 4.
Right. That wouldn't have been possible.
Or before that, while I was pushing each one through one at a time, that would not have happened.
But to get to this point, you had to do the other stuff.
Yeah.
So
Do you feel like you'll need to, I mean, what are your growth goals? And do you feel like you'll need to, or you just, I mean, the forecast is to keep bootstrapping it and just grow organically?
For now, we're no shortage of ideas kind of thing. We're gonna launch other puzzles, different types. We just bought a competitor that was a puzzle company from 1982, and they called us up, and the guy he's like, hey, we want to retire. We've got this equipment. We have this trove of puzzle dies, which have some really unique, fun shapes and really cool stuff. And we literally we just moved them into the production area, their equipment and their dies and everything in the production equipment about 3 weeks ago. And again, we paid cash for it. So it's just, I think maybe at some point we may have to, but right now it's just really, people always go like, well, how do you afford to do that? I'm like, we buy stock, we sell stock, and then you buy more stock. And then like, that's literally like, I know this simplified, that's a really super simplified version, but it's like, we could have like, the puzzle breaker upper, for instance, like we could have went out, I guess, day one and bought that kind of thing, but it was just sort of, for us, it just seemed more smarter to really kind of learn the ins and outs of the company and figure out exactly what we need sort of.
I'm always a little concerned and like growing too big, like all of a sudden thinking you're gonna, like, hey, let's go get a 100 square foot facility when that's not really what you need. So we've been only moving as we need to. So as soon as we see like, our first warehouse that we got was 1,000 square feet. I was telling my friends to come bring their stuff over. Oh, you can store it at my place. We're gonna have plenty of room. Because I mean, up until that point, I was storing the tubes that they come in, the test tube. I was storing them in my second bathroom shower, like, behind the curtain so nobody would know. Like there was, we had printers in our living room. Obviously they knew I was running the business in there, but, so we just try to scale as we need it, not to project too much, because maybe it might go in a different direction than we thought. Like, I don't think we knew that we would be selling as much wholesale as we are now. So if we would have jumped on, hey, we're only going to sell online, or we were only going to do custom, or we're only going to do subscription, maybe we wouldn't have noticed that.
So like with subscriptions, for instance, we before we got branded boxes, one of the things we did is we just literally went to Uline, bought a box, got a sticker machine kind of thing, and that's how we did it, sort of thing. So we didn't.
And our first labeler would move so slow that you would have to watch it to see if it was actually moving. It was like you were like, are we printing? Like you were waiting, and now how fast?
Oh yeah, now it'll print high resolution 12 inches a second. And so like the first time when we went from that other one where we had to stare at it to see if it was working to like this brand, now we have 2 of those machines for redundancy kind of thing, so that we don't because we label all our own equipment, we do all that, or label our own product and all that. But that's another thing, like too, when you're doing a subscription box, it can be kind of like, do I need 5,000 branded boxes when I first start? No, anything, because the size may change, your logo may change, whatever. So there might be something that changes kind of thing. And so we really kind of do that 1.0, 2.0, 3.0 kind of move. So
yeah. Well, you hit on it a little bit, but you did have that kind of overnight success that happened because of COVID and, everybody being at home and then being featured on that morning show. I mean, has that been the only event like that? And for that one, what did you do to kind of deal with all of that influx of orders?
I cried a lot.
Want to cry?
Yeah. Like, I don't think we can do this. We're gonna do it. Okay, fine. we had no choice. And I think a lot of it, because of the pandemic, we had nowhere else to go. Like, I might as well work 12-hour, 14-hour days, because what else am I going to do? Like,
our pandemic experience was a lot different than others.
Yeah.
One thing we did do, though, that was, I think, a decent move, was we took the KTLA. KTLA featured us really prominently, kind of thing. And then what we did is we leveraged that coverage to get other coverage. So we have been in Inc. magazine, Entrepreneur magazine. We were in the front page of the Orange County business section on a Sunday, which was amazing. And that was kind of like, so what you do is you kind of take your successes and you leverage them. You tell other media outlets, like, as seen in kind of thing. Even if you go to our website at like micropuzzles.com, you'll see there's a section that says as seen in. And we also leverage some of our high profile customers as well. So we'll be like, you know, this is something, and for subscription box, everybody wants to write about a subscription box kind of thing. There's all kinds of articles and things that you can get into where it's like, you know, best subscription box for moms or for dads or whatever kind of thing. And you take that coverage and you leverage it. You make sure you put it on your website prominently, because somebody that's it's basically social proof that you're worth putting your money behind, kind of thing. And we also do that with high profile customers, because we have some really cool customers. So we feature those on the website, kind of thing, to kind of be like, you know, we can handle a Google, or we can handle you know, like we do one of my favorite customers is the Magic Castle kind of thing in Hollywood. And it's a private magicians membership club. It's insane. But we do 4 designs for them in their gift shop, and we do Ron John surf shop and things like that. And that has really helped. But the media coverage for subscription boxes is instant. If you get any kind of media coverage, make sure it hits your website and it says as seen on kind of thing. And then you can also take that article and leverage it to get more coverage. So
and we get a lot of people like asking, because we're pretty forward when it comes to, like, I'll just call somebody, like, for the yarn box, she has 1,200 subscribers, and it was literally the woman that worked for me said, I like yarn, and there's this yarn box. You should see if they want our puzzles in her yarn box. So I just wrote to her and asked her. And I think right now stores and other subscription boxes are all looking for product. If you walk in a store and you look even at a Walgreens, there are empty shelves, and there, you know, so it's not, you're not bothering a store by saying, hey, do you want to see if, you know, try out putting my product in your store? You know, we did that for Ron John Surf Shop, just basically call them, but you're actually, I feel like you're doing them a favor. Like, hey, I'm finding a good product. I feel like my product is amazing. It's going to do amazing in your store. And I am not worried about calling you. Like, I don't feel like I'm stepping on your toes or
that's a huge that's a huge takeaway kind of thing. Because one of the things is, if you're a subscription box, you want to do a collaboration, don't be afraid to pick up the phone kind of thing, and find the right partner that wants to work with you. We love working with people that want to work with us kind of thing. And we've worked with people that, you know, are not, we did one subscription box where we needed a specific product. And I called a pretty well-known company, and I was like, I dialed 1960 kind of thing, because they wanted me to fax a dealer form and all this stuff. We were just like, I was like, look, we're just going to get a credit card. We want to do this. We tried to explain like what we were doing. Like, we have subscribers, we're going to put it in the box kind of thing. They did not get it at all. And it was really frustrating. But what we did is we just called like one of their competitors, and the competitor was like, oh my God, we love subscription boxes. We're going to have, you know, I'll have Sue from accounting, you know, email you over the form. Let me know what you need. And they were amazing. And one of the things we did afterwards is, once we got that particular product in our subscription box, we sent their office a couple of subscription boxes with it in it. And we're just like, hey, we so appreciate working with you. You know, it was just really fun. It was a great collaboration. We really appreciate it. And then like 6 months later, we were at a trade show, and they walked in our booth, and I could not have hired an actor to say nicer things about this kind of thing than that.
That's awesome.
That collaboration, because they were so cool.
Yeah.
And they really appreciated the product seeding, us sending product to them, like sending in the final piece. They said it made like the whole office. And she goes, everybody knows about micro puzzles.
Really?
Like, fantastic.
I would think product seeding has been probably our
number one
thing,
Yeah.
because we
Really?
were in the Oscar bags, you know, the gift bags. That was just because we handed out our puzzle to just
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
light up Christmas jackets, and we're in Beverly Hills, and
We
some
lived in California at the
Yeah.
time, and so it sounds all goofy,
yeah,
but
yeah.
Beverly Hills had a tree lighting ceremony that's open to the public. So we went, and Rachel had this thing where we had like light up jackets we got from Kohl's, and they were just super fun. And we were walking around, and they were doing a photo shoot with one of the PR agencies that works with the Oscars, and they stopped us and were like, "Whoa, you guys are really funny. What do you do?" And we, Rachel was just like, we do puzzles. We were handing out puzzles for fun.
But
yeah.
And then we got in the Oscar bags, and so I think I would say most of our stuff has come from that, or just sending out our product to
HLA did that.
yeah, and some we have like people that do YouTube channels unboxing, and I didn't actually realize at the beginning that some of them will do it just for free. It's just because they're building up their YouTube channel. It's not, because there was one, and I'm going to do a shout out, Georgia Sunshine, love her. We were shopping one day, and in the store, our register kept going off, like our little Shopify.
I was registering sales,
and
as we were shopping.
And she had just opened our subscription
Ah,
box.
really?
15 sales while we were in Kohl's, and we're whatever. And she and when I saw her at Sub Summit this year, I finally got to meet her in person, because we've been sending stuff to her for a while. I said, when do we have to start paying you? And she's like, oh no. She goes, I just opened your boxes because I love doing it, and it's part of my YouTube channel. And so that,
and you have to look at,
I think when we try to find influencers or people like that, we kind of find like more of a micro. We're not finding the people that have like 3 million. We want to find something that may be a little bit more specific for us. Her followers tend to do well, or like puzzles or whatever. So
when you look at like the cost of acquisition for a customer with subscription model, it's great because you can kind of figure out how long they're going to stay on your subscription kind of thing, and generally that adds up to a number. So if you give away a box, like, and you get 3 subscribers, your cost of acquisition is really not a lot of money kind of thing. So that's been a really great strategy for us. So and we manufacture our own product, so it might be a little easier for us to kind of give away product because we do it all the time.
Right.
But if it's too expensive, then give away part of it, or samples, or things like that. If it tends to be too much,
Yeah. So that sounds like those channels have been very effective for you guys. Have you dipped into other like paid advertising channels?
Sure, we do. Like, I mean, we've done Facebook advertising, we do Google,
which at the beginning was amazing.
Which was amazing. Yeah. But
now I feel sometimes like if you lit the money on fire, you would probably get more views.
Yeah, this is a common story I'm hearing these days.
Yeah. And unfortunately we're at that point, but I think you have to be a little bit more creative then. And then
we did start an affiliate program, which has been really helpful. And again, that was just completely at a Sub Summit. We went to Sub Summit in Dallas 2 years ago, specifically to corner the person that was giving the affiliate talk, because I didn't, it's really hard sometimes sometimes it's just really tough. And Sub Summit, to shout out to them, because it's an amazing venue, and Subta is an amazing organization. But I was joking because we went to her little talk, and then we cornered her and get every question I ever needed about affiliates answered. And I was joking with her, I'm like, you just saved me watching like 500 YouTube videos on how to do this kind of thing. So it's a really easy way of doing it. And affiliates is one of those things, when Facebook started tanking, that was actually one of the strategies we used, and it's been very effective. So, and it's just one of those, it opens you up to different, sometimes you're like advertising into an echo chamber, it's the same customers you're advertising to. And with affiliates, we found that sometimes it actually kind of expands that pool of customers that you're aiming for.
Absolutely. Well, what's next for you guys? I mean, you've been growing responsibly and kind of are you expanding the product line, going into new markets? What's next?
Yeah, well, we have right now, we're trying to put out some new product, and we're gearing up for Christmas season, which is huge for us.
Yeah.
But I think we're also looking at other products as well, to have accessories because everything that we put in our subscription box, we tend to just give away as swag and like we're on like fair with wholesale, And so we give it away as swag, and people are always like, hey, how do I buy those cookie cutters, the puzzle shaped, and we're like, we don't sell them. We don't sell our puzzle socks. We don't sell. So we've got to get those on. And then we're also looking at expanding to like, so our puzzles, each piece is like the size of a dime. So we're kind of trying to maybe get into what we call companion puzzles. We don't want to say for kids, but maybe also for seniors, figuring that maybe seniors need bigger pieces because of their arthritis or because of their vision. And I know that they probably could do kids puzzles, but I don't know if they really want to do Paw Patrol kind of puzzle pictures, kids pictures. So, we think that might be something. Puzzles for us they're good, mentally, and it's a relaxation thing, and so it's really good for mental health. And so we're trying to find other things. Then we also have we have a line coming out called Tipsy Puzzles, which are maybe a little bit more irreverent, and it has more. We're going to be trying to sell them at wineries and breweries, so people can do them while they're there and buy them, microbreweries. So, and they're
really cool. They're square for starters, so they're set up for Instagram. If you take a picture, it's square. And then they're packaged in. Right now, we package our micro puzzles in test tubes. These are actually packaged in mini transparent beer cans with a pull top and everything. Like, they're super cool. And we got super excited when we first came up with micro puzzles. When we had the prototypes, we put them in like friends and family's hands, and people went crazy. And we're getting the same sort of response with the Tipsy puzzle idea with the microbrew things.
Are those pieces also waterproof? Just curious.
Yeah, they're not.
But no, but if you spill something on it, then you would have to buy another one.
There you go. The cool thing is our price point is really pretty low, kind of thing. So it works out well. You can buy more than one. So
yeah.
So in terms of the subscriptions themselves, is there one plan you guys offer, or are there variations that people can subscribe to?
We basically just have one product, and you get the subscription box. We've had it before. I guess when we started, we just did a 3-month. That's how I didn't even know, like, let's do 1 month or 6 months. We only had a 3-month subscription. Maybe we thought we were only going to be 3 months. I have no idea, but
you're testing, right?
So I think we're going to try. I know we do better when we have that they can buy it kind of in bulk for 6 months, a year. Sell it that way on Cratejoy, but on our regular site we haven't done that yet. So we probably going to throw that on. And then we may do add-ons. So if we start with a companion, we're kind of thinking it would have the same designs. So if you did want to do it with your, senior parent, or if you want to do it with kids or whatever, you could be working on the exact same puzzle, but just more, less pieces, bigger pieces.
Yeah, they're actually, we're just playing around, but this is actually the prototype for the companion puzzle. So it's still got that sciencey kind of look to it. So bigger pieces. And again, like Rachel said, same art. So
then we can do it together. So, but I think we've tried a lot of like scrappy marketing is what we call it. So things like when we were going to Sub Summit, if the first year that we went, and then last year, we just asked if we could be in their welcome box. So we gave them 1,200 puzzles, and they gave it to every single person there.
I have one. My daughter loves it.
So we try those things. Like, and sometimes, most of the time they do well. Once in a while, it's kind of like, okay, I don't think we really got what we needed out of it, but you never know where it's going.
You never know. Experience, and it's you can always pivot, kind of thing. But don't be afraid to ask. Like, that's the big thing. That was the big thing for us, kind of thing, because we used to be really timid, and now we're like, you know what, we think we got a great product, we think it'd be a good fit, we can tailor it to whatever you have. When we're in retail shops, we just basically say, like, listen, you know what, the barrier to entry is really low. We don't have a really big minimum order quantity kind of thing. You don't have to order a warehouse, and we can leverage your existing artwork. So if you've got a t-shirt or a koozie or something that has artwork on it that really sells well, we can put it on a puzzle. And then same sort of thing works with subscription boxes as well. If they've got a theme that they're working on, and they want a micro puzzle, we can theme it exactly the way they want it. So that's one of the beauty of our product. So
Yeah, absolutely. For all of those reasons, I love the business. I mean, it's a fantastic idea. And for what it's worth, I actually voted for you guys at
Oh, oh my
at
God.
Sub Summit pitch event. So
Yeah, I am
yeah.
just like, yeah. We did, I don't know if you saw, our first presentation was amazing. We were on fire on the video, but on the stage,
We had
gosh,
confetti
it was
and
so, yeah.
signs and things flying
Yeah.
in the air.
It didn't work
Yeah,
the way we
yeah,
wanted.
I know, but it had a real organic feel to it. You know, sometimes the pitches are too polished, and you're like, okay, I could have just watched this
That
on
was
video,
not
but
the case. That was not the case.
But
Don't nobody go watch it.
yeah, we're still trying to get it.
We're still, well, I had told you before, we had just moved from California to Florida.
We did
So
cross country.
we brought Brian in
trip.
shipping. Brian
Our
shipping
dog.
was sick the whole way. Our
Mhm.
dog. And we got here the morning of basically the Sub Summit.
Yeah, we actually, I mean, we
Trade show.
literally got into this building the morning of the pitch. And we had never seen it before.
Yeah.
We had seen photos and that was it. So
Really?
there's a
And we
lot
moved too much on the plate.
we did. Yeah. But it was so
Swing
fun.
for the fences is what we say.
Exactly. We wanted to swing for the fences. And the thing is, I mean, again, the subscription community is so amazing. It's just it really, like, everybody was so supportive and just, I've never been in a community that is like this. You know, if you need help, there's so many resources at your fingertips. There's podcasts, there's experts that you can just call. And it's just been anything you need is out there, kind of thing. And people are more than willing to help and share. And it's a fantastic community. And I've been in the printing business for like 30 years, 35 years, I'm crazy now. And I've been in organizations and industries where it's not like that. You know, like people don't want to share the secrets. People don't want to give you advice, kind of thing. People are not happy for you, you know, when you win. And with the subscription, like Subta has been unbelievable.
Yeah.
I've never been in an organization that has helped us more.
And I really feel like, you know, it's kind of the
people.
small business. It's a way to start. And anybody
Yeah.
that I've talked to from, you know, owning whatever products that they have, to be like, have you thought about subscription? Because
Absolutely.
we had a business already and decided to put it on, and it is beneficial to us, and we enjoy doing it. And I think it keeps some of our customers around longer.
Absolutely.
But I feel like, you know, there are small businesses and it doesn't take a lot to start. You know, it's not like you have to come in with, you know, $50,000 in cash to start a small business. You just start one step at a time.
If you have a product, a business, or a service, it is so easy to plug a subscription component into that existing business. And it's one of those things that subscription, I think, is one of those things. It's may not as much now, but even just a couple of years ago, subscription was one of those models that just flew under the radar. It was everywhere, but nobody really recognized it as a viable business model. And I'm telling you, it will transform your company because we operate differently. We treat our customers differently. It moves you out of the mindset of like this transactional thing of like, you just give me money, I give you a product. And it turns into a relationship. And I know like that's really super cliche and you hear it everywhere, but it's super true. Like we have customers that are on the subscription that they're like super fans. They will email us. We know a lot of them just by their names, kind of thing. And it's one of those things where it turns a one-time transaction into a continuous stream of revenue and something that you can really count on. So yeah, I love subscription. It's like one of the best things we did.
Well, so Michael, we talk to businesses all the time that are going from a transactional model to a subscription one or starting up a new subscription service. And when we're talking about all of the different reasons why this is a great thing to do and consider, I'm now going to take everything you just said and put it into a clip and just hit play and let that be the voice.
And now there's a few things that we will talk up. And subscription is one of them. Shopify, we've been on Shopify for a long time. We actually were in Los Angeles, so we used to actually do classes that they had there or talks.
Okay.
So that was amazing. If you're in the Los Angeles area, you can always go there. And
New York.
And actually they had us do a talk there.
Awesome.
About subscription, and you know, and actually I had to do like a couple commercials for them because we get so excited about it. and it's true, and it's not something that we would just say if it didn't mean so much to us. So
Yeah, I
but
would
it-
definitely, but I would, if you're even thinking about doing a subscription, I would definitely do it.
Yeah, and I feel like even
It's one of those leap and the net will appear kind of deals, because honestly, like that's exactly what we did. We really, like, we had no, I mean, literally, if we think about it now, we're like,
I
oh my
think
God,
I
I
called a
can't
couple
believe it.
friends, like, hey, you get subscription.
Yeah.
That's how we started the conversation.
Yeah.
That was our thing, just like, you get a subscription, what is it like, and how much you pay, and
And we're by no means experts now. We're 2 years into this. Every month we've done a little over 2 years now. We've done a subscription monthly every month. And we're by no means experts, but we've definitely learned. It's been an education kind of thing. And I really feel like we have resources at our fingertips that we can access, or people we can call, and just, if we have any questions or problems kind of thing. It's really it's just a great model to do.
Yeah.
So.
Well, guys, I have enjoyed this conversation. I loved your
It was
energy.
great.
It's been a heck of a lot of fun. If any of the listeners have questions about it, what we talked about today, or want to learn more about micro puzzles and check it out, where can they go?
Okay, so you could write to support at Micropuzzles, or Mike at Micropuzzles, Rachel at Micropuzzles, either one.
Sure.
I am even, anybody that just even like, hey, I'm starting this and I feel like I have a connection, and I just want to know how you do it. I'm always welcome to just talk to anybody, and because it's really empowering to be able to help other people do what we've done.
And our main website is micropuzzles.com, all one word. And then social media, all the social medias, we are at Micropuzzles.
Yeah, so you can look us up. I mean, we're always open to collaborating with other boxes, and we really like that.
We love this business. We have a lot of fun, and it's I think partly because we're a toy company, it's just really fun. So, but we love talking to people, and if just reach out. If we can help you, we will.
Yeah.
So.
Well, your enthusiasm for the business and the product has absolutely come through without question. So no doubt about that. But yeah, I've really enjoyed it today, guys. Thank you so much.
You bet.
Thank you.